Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the LovePod podcast. I am Dina. To my hopefully right is Jordan. And then to the right of her, if you're watching on video, is the wonderful, the keeps his souvenirs from his exes, the credit rep for Chime, and season 5 is Love is Blind, Izzy Zapata. Welcome to the Love Pod.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being our very good sport today. We,
Always.
you may not know, are in our villain era here at the Love Pod, and you got an edit. We'll say you got an interesting edit. So, welcome to our villain era.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a villain. I just didn't have one good moment, but apparently people took it and ran with it. But thanks for keeping me relevant in the meantime.
Hey, we have talked to quite a few people who did get edits that way, and they
hmm
have always been kind. You've been kind when we've messaged back and forth. And so
Thank
we've
you.
learned a lot. No, thank you. We've learned a lot that camera trickery
hmm
can highlight you guys not in your best moments.
Yeah,
So you're going to bring your best today. We know it. We're going to try. And
absolutely.
let's get into it, Jordan.
But yeah, I was trying to figure out the live thing again. I think we're
It,
I
look, it
think we're
looks like
out
it
of
says
luck.
it looks like it says live on the top left.
Yeah, whatever. If people join, great. If they
Who
don't,
knows?
wouldn't be anything new.
Who knows? All right, well, let's get into it. We got to talk about Love is Blind, but before we do, we want to know maybe what your dating history was like before Love is Blind.
Yeah, so I was engaged, like I said on the show. I was about 26 when I proposed. Obviously that fell through. She cheated on me. Always was a relationship guy, like since high school. I had like a girlfriend for like 6 years in high school, and just was in relationships then. So after that engagement, I really just took a lot of time for myself to do a lot of self work, a lot of therapy. I felt like I just needed some time on my own. So I took about a good 2 years of just enjoying myself and casually dating, meeting people, here and there, which is where you saw the lost and found drawer. Um, but yeah, as far as dating, like I had no trouble dating. Dating was fun. I had no problems, meeting girls or anything like that. It was just hard to one, I wanted to be in the right mindset to be able to date again. Obviously, I was a bit jaded, but then once I kind of got past that, then I was looking for someone, who I can see myself being with long term. And I just didn't really meet somebody on that compatibility level. But then, yeah, and, Love Is Blind kind of came in, and you saw what happened there. So.
Now, how did Love is Blind come in? Did they recruit you? Did you apply?
They did recruit me. I did not apply for it. I thought it was honestly a scam when they reached out. I was working out on my lunch break. I got a phone call from an LA number. I denied it immediately. They called again and I denied it. Then I got a text message saying, this is a casting recruiter for a show called Love is Blind. You have about 15 minutes to chat. So I was like, all right, which one of my friends is, messing with me here? And so I called. Sure enough, I added the girl on Instagram right then and there. And yeah, she was like, looking at my profile, she was like, yeah, I feel like you'd be a good candidate. You seem fun, full of life, and you're looking for love. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I honestly didn't even think I was going to get casted. It's such a long process. It took about like 6 months. And, when you're sitting there, normal person in your day to day life, working your typical 8 to 5, it's like, am I really going to get casted for this big TV show? And I never thought I was. And so I kept going through the process. I wasn't really taking it serious, but I was like, cool, I'll just go along with it. And it was about a month before we were going to leave for filming or when they needed us. So at that point, I needed a passport. I didn't have a passport. And so I was like, hey, it's been fun and all, but I honestly, don't think you guys are going to be able to take me because I don't have a passport. And at that time, I was like, it was the beginning of like 22 and year 2022, and COVID, had just got done. People were taking like 14 weeks to get a passport. So I told them, I was like, I'm not gonna have my passport in time by the time I have to leave for filming. And she was like, oh no, don't worry about it. It's the least of your worries. Go get a picture, show up at this office at this like 2 days later. And then so I showed up, gave it to them. The next day I had a passport expedited in hand. So I was like, all right, these people are not going out of their way for me for nothing. And then about 2 or 3 days after that, I got my welcome letter, on my email saying, welcome to Love is Blind. And it was all history from there.
So they not only tracked down your phone number somehow, but they also got you a next day passport. What FBI level are
I know,
these
right?
casting
Dude,
agents?
Kinetic and Netflix, man, they're amazing. They work wonders, that's for sure.
I'm going to
well,
contact them when I need to leave the country.
Seriously.
Well, speaking of casting, and we have an episode coming out with Nick Thompson in January. So we talked to him last week about, his experiences with filming. So, but what was your experience like filming Love is Blind?
See, that's what I don't understand. Like, you've had people coming out, saying stuff they were mistreated or whatever. I had a blast. I was fed. I had the option to sleep when I wanted to sleep. You didn't have to take it, but like it was there. No one ever forced you. No one ever forced me to drink alcohol. It was there. So filming for me was great. I didn't experience anything bad. Obviously, like it's exhausting and it's emotionally draining, but at the end of the day, you know what you signed up for. Read over your contract. If you can't hack it, don't come out later crying about it. Like it's what you get. Reality TV is not for the weak. You know what I mean? And so I had a blast. If I could get casted for another show, I'd do it again. Kinetic's amazing. I love them. They took care of me. Even afterwards, like mental health wise, everything, they took care of me, provided all the resources I needed. So
that's great.
That's
yeah,
great. I'm glad
like
you had that experience.
I don't know if it was different at that time, but at least for me, it was great. So
we've talked to or read about a lot of comments from the challenge. I don't know if you're familiar with Sarah Rice. She's a therapist and she's advocating for more mental health support, or she was like seasons ago because she had said, it wasn't available back then. So it's good to know that more shows are giving that option and resource.
And I'm assuming like it's trial and error. I mean, I think at the time when people were coming out, Love is Blind was new, so it's like it's a new show. They're obviously experimenting with it. So I'm sure they're filling in the gaps where need be as time goes and seeing, making it run smoother. So, but yeah, I mean, it's worked well for me.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues.
Awesome. Let's talk about After the Altar. Now, there were a lot of comments either that everybody loved your look or why were your pants so high?
Oh God. So it was it was weird. It was a deep couch and it was a very uncomfortable way to sit. So I'm just gonna say this. I got my suit tailored and made from scratch and it fit me perfectly. So but it was the way that the couches were and they put like these pillows behind us. It was so like uncomfortable. I think like halfway through the reunion, you'll see like me and they don't show it, but me and Stacey end up getting like the pillows and just throwing them behind the couch because it was just so uncomfortable. So now I would sit, my thighs would like suck up my pants. So it was, like my pants rose up. I'm like, oh man, it's fucking sucks. It's crazy how much people pay attention to the most minute details. Like, get a life. Seriously.
We always say the FBI works hard, but Love is Blind fans work harder.
Oh,
they
God.
can look up marriage records. They will
To
look
say
up
the
your
least.
Venmo history. It's insane.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. There was like an article of people looking at my Venmo history. I saw that. Like, people really have nothing else better to do with their lives. But hey, they're fanatics.
They're big fans. They're just maybe a little inappropriate sometimes, but they are big fans.
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
So what do you think? I mean, what do you think your life would be like now if you hadn't gone on Love is Blind?
I mean, honestly, my life would be great. It was great before then. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'd probably have a girlfriend. I mean, I already have a girlfriend now, but I'm sure I would have like a girlfriend. Probably at this point on the verge of like marriage, actually getting someone to say yes to me this time. Just obviously doing a lot more traveling. Like I had started a new job at that time. I was doing insurance and I was killing it. Like it was great. Which is I felt like was a big misunderstanding. In that time, Stacy felt like it was unstable because obviously when you do an insurance, you're your own boss. So I was working off a 1099, and I had just started probably about 3-4 months in, and I was doing well, but it was still a new job. And so like I told her that. So I think like with that, sky was the limit, and um yeah, so like I would have had the opportunity to, travel more and do all that stuff. So I think that's where my life would have been, like new relationship, working toward marriage, also just kind of making memories and living life at that time.
So, you had talked a little bit about, I completely forgot what we were just saying. Life would be different and that you might be married by now. Do you have any regrets about how everything turned out? Do you think everything kind of worked out the way it should?
No, I think everything went great. I mean, obviously, it wasn't the ending that I wanted, but I don't regret it. I was actually very proud of myself. I was true to myself, my genuine, authentic self. Only one moment in there that I wasn't proud of, but other than that, everything was very real. Like, I didn't feel like anything. I mean, it's definitely not scripted. I just felt like producers honestly just helped me keep it very raw and real, and what emotions you saw of me is what I felt in that moment. So no, I don't regret anything. I did a lot of self-discovery through that, and now it just kind of verifies that I will be a damn good husband someday. I just didn't
Yeah.
meet the right person for me.
I'd be sliding into those DMs if I wasn't single and you weren't single.
Thank you. I'm
So
flattered.
you mentioned that some of your less flattering moments on the show. So first, let's talk about, we had mentioned the lost and found drawer. So
Oh, yeah.
how did that, why did that?
So honestly, I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even think I was going to be casted for the show. Going into it, like, I didn't even think the experiment was going to work, And so, and then here I come back 3 weeks later with the whole ass fiance. And so I didn't think like the lost and found drawer was there. And I was going to be very transparent. I was casually dating. I was hooking up with people, like if it
Sure.
happened. And the good thing is, like, I always kept great relationships with the girls that if that ever happened with. And so some of them would leave their jewelry, and it was nice, expensive jewelry. Some would say like, "Hey, can you hold it? Can you do it?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to throw something away." It's like if I went to your place and left, a really nice watch there, and you just threw it in the trash, like I'd be kind of pissed. You know what I mean? So I held it for the girls. We stayed good friends. I never went out of my way to give it to them. They never came out of their way to come get it. Sometimes some did. And it's just like I felt bad throwing some people's stuff away, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's kind of creepy. Why would you do that knowing someone's coming over?" It's like, look, if you're secure and you're an adult and mature, you can understand that I had a past. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
And like, I'm being honest, like I could try to hide it. And in that moment, Stacy's going through every single cabinet and drawer. So I'm like, shit, she's about to see it. So I go out of my way and I'm like, hey, so just to let you know before you come across it, there's a lost and found drawer, so you're not kind of caught off guard. And it's like, oh my God, why would you keep that? It's like, come on, dude. If I went to your place and you show me your place and you have a guy's shirt or something, like I'm not going to freak out. But I guess that's just the difference between me and other people. And that's okay. But that's where it came from.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like anybody intentionally left anything behind, like to, come back and...
No, because honestly, sometimes the stuff that I would find, I wouldn't even know was there until I'm actually like cleaning my room or changing my sheets or, vacuuming under my bed or something like that. So I don't really think anybody ever did that. Like I said, everyone was super cool and friendly. So
that just means they're really good at it.
Yeah, maybe I'm oblivious. I don't know.
And then your other unflattering moment, obviously the argument that you got into with Johnny, with Stacy, and then Chris joining in. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So how that kind of came across me and Chris became really good friends when we were in the lounge and stuff like that. So everyone was kind of saying, that I shouldn't have told him anything, or that I was jealous, that Johnny wanted him. I'm like, look, I clearly had the love triangle between both of these girls. I took it all the way, and I saw who was going to be the better fit for me or not. And Johnny wasn't. Honestly, I would have been bored if I would have stayed with Johnny. Like the trauma bond is basically all we had. It was an emotional connection, but that's all it was. So I'm like, is there any more layers to this? Like I do want to have fun in my relationship. I don't want to always just be serious, and it kind of got to that depressing after a while, and um, so I'm going and looking out for Chris, and the reason why I let Johnny go was because of the fact that she pretty much told me she married as a rebound, and then ends up divorcing him
Sure.
because she's not in love with them, and she has a history of doing that. So I'm like, why am I going to sit here and risk myself? Like it was a huge red flag for me, and I just didn't want to put my heart at risk, and I just felt like it wasn't for me, and so clearly you can see the repeating pattern, because the minute I walk out, she's calling Chris back in to grab another rebound. So I'm like, hey, Chris, just a heads up. This is what she said. So, and even then, Chris asked, and that's how like it shows in the edit. I'm like, do you want to know? Do you not? Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to tell you, but he wanted to know, and so I told him before he went in there, what she said about him, and then it comes out what she said about me, saying like she doesn't go with the safe guys, which is Chris. She would tell me I only saw him as a friend, but I don't see myself loving him like that. And then she's telling Chris, like, oh, she only wants to go with you because you're the repetitive pattern of, I guess, the wild, fun one, the bad boy, whatever you want to call it. So she was kind of, telling us one thing and then telling somebody the other. So I just told him, and that was that. And then as far as, so we go off for, we get engaged and we go off in Mexico. We're in Mexico, and, the cast gets back home of whoever didn't go, and they're all hanging out, and then we find out everything that Johnny was saying about us. And so obviously we don't, like, I didn't give a shit because I'm so focused on like filming, and I just have a fiance, we're gonna have a wedding in a month. But when we get home and everyone keeps like telling us, like she even goes and tries to talk to Josh afterwards, and the way it's like painted, I don't know. She was on like Deep D and Natalie's podcast and like says one thing there, but Paige actually told us like what happened, and she was kind of going after Josh, flirting around with Josh. So it's like she was just hopping from everyone. And at that time, Paige and Josh were engaged. So it was like that was like really, I found sketchy. She's talking about me, my credit, all this stuff, and then she's talking about Stacy and being petty about Stacy, and then talking about Stacy's physical appearance, and just like, so there's just a whole bunch of shit talking, basically her being petty of the whole scenario. And so
Okay.
we get home, and that's all we hear. So we actually had a gathering where we all hang out.
Yeah.
And this is off camera, and we all finally meet, and like we never talked. I never talked to her then. I didn't care to talk to her then. And so that moment when it came at the barbecue, I was forced to have that conversation with her. I wouldn't even have talked to her. So I'm like, all right, well, if I have to have this conversation, like I really don't have anything to say to you, but I'm just gonna say, like, why'd you do it? It was more so me. I was just upset. I don't care about me. I don't really care about Chris. It was more about the Stacy thing. And I was just kind of calling her out on, everything. It was not my best moment. My delivery was poor. Like, definitely attacked her, and I take responsibility and ownership of that. And I've already apologized to her so many times. But yeah, so I mean, I was not proud of it, but it's like how I say I don't. I regret how I delivered the message, but I don't regret the message that I was trying to give. So yeah, that's kind of what happened with everything. And then I don't know, everything just kind of blew up after that, especially once it like aired and everyone's like, oh, Stacy's, encouraging you to be this certain way. And like that never happened. We never even talked about her much. Like it was just in that moment because production made me have a conversation with her. Other than that,
Sure.
Johnny was irrelevant.
Okay. Fair enough. And we want to talk to Stacey too about all of this, but
Yeah.
yeah,
They just made it bigger than what it was. Like it had happened, it was done with, but it's like you put 2 episodes of this fucking scene. Like obviously that's gonna take over the whole thing, you know what I mean? But like for us, it just happened, it was done, we brushed it off, but clearly everyone's still bringing it up. So it's just like that's one moment.
And one last question about this. We had heard that sometimes when you guys have a certain conversation or get into an argument or something like that, production will make you refilm it. And sometimes it gets more heated. Did they have you do that with either your conversation with Stacey or Johnny along the way?
Not really. I mean, they do make us have like conversation, but I didn't feel like it really got heated. They never made me refilm anything with Johnny. That was all one thing. As far as with Stacey, the only thing that did make us rehab was the finance conversation.
Okay, that is yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of
juicy
sense.
because hold on, I'm sorry, I'm putting this thing on low battery mode really quick just to make sure it doesn't die on me.
You're fine.
Okay,
if you need to pause to grab a charger.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good right there.
Okay,
let's do it.
All right.
So yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the finance conversation?
Yeah. So people think that how it was is that I hid it for so long, which I
That's
didn't.
definitely what it looked like.
Yeah, well, clearly Johnny knew, so it's like I was something I was open to talking about, but yeah, it was like one night, and Stacey said that she always wanted to have like that conversation, and how it happened was, how it kind of came about was that we were putting gas one day. I think we were on the way to get our marriage license, and she's like, my card, like where the chip wasn't reading at the machine, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna run inside and pay. She was like, oh, you don't have another card or like a credit card or something? And I was like, no, I don't have credit cards. Like I don't use them anymore. And that was it. That brushed off whatever, right? It was never, she never asked like, well, why or this and that in that moment. And then anyway, time passes. And I mean, honestly, through the whole process, finances and money was always like a thing, you know? And it's like, we're sitting down and we're having the conversation at her place, and you know, she's like asking me if I'm gonna fork out $20,000 to replace an AC unit, like, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, and that's where like the 50-50 kind of came in. And a lot of people get that twisted in the sense of when I take a date out, do I make her, you know, go 50-50 with me? So to clear that up, I do not. Like I pay for all of my dates, but I think it's kind of how like the edit came out. It's like it's something like that, like, I don't know. Everything's different. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pay for all your shit. Like, if you're an independent person, I'm an independent person. At that point, if we're married, I'm going to have your back. You're going to have mine. Like, and that's how it was. Like, if we had a group thing and we had a home together, obviously I'm going to take care of what I can take care of, but like, we should do it as a team. And so it was like, kind of like that. I guess to go fast forward, I remember we had like friend meetings. I would meet some of her friends. I was all about money, finances. And so I was like, for me, that's not going to be a 5-minute conversation that is just going to blow over. I want to sit down and talk about it. Let's list how much you make, how much you have saved, 401k, vice versa. How are we going to do bank accounts? And that's not going to be a 5-minute conversation. So now I'm going to work. Like, I'm working 8 to 5. For people that think that I was unemployed, I was actually going to work. And then like Stacey didn't like my dogs. Like she kept saying my dogs kept attacking her dogs.
That's a no. That's a
no.
no.
So I literally had to leave and go take my dogs home in the middle of filming from the apartment we we're staying. So like I have to go to work. I have to come home, cater to my dogs, and then go meet you and then film. And we're filming till like midnight or 1. And then I got to wake up and do it all over again. Like, it was annoying. And I never had the chance to have this finance conversation, you know, like I'm exhausted and like emotionally drained from whatever scenes that we're filming at that time. And then, you know, like I had nothing left in me to have that finance conversation. So it's our final, and we're filming so much. So finally we get to our final date night. We're talking about it. We get home and I'm like, all right, let's hash it out. You want to have this finance conversation? Let's have it. And so we start talking about it, right? And yeah, she just starts like, I'm telling her, you know, how much I make and all this stuff. And immediately she's just like in shock. that I'm working off a 1099, which I think is stupid. There's plenty of people that work off a 1099, and it's just like, what's the big deal here, you know? And I literally had nothing, bad. Like I didn't owe any money. When I had those credit cards, any debt that I had already paid it off. I just had bad credit. And the fact that I told her I had bad credit, she was just like so shocked, like, oh my God, I feel like you've been lying to me. I can't trust you. And in my head, I'm like, are you serious right now? Like,
so that was a genuine reaction from her.
yes.
Like that was really how, okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, well, credit's easy to fix. Like I've been in the process of fixing it, and it's like, what, 2 years later now, and my credit's great, And it's like, so, and it was kind of shitty because it's like, I think when you're like a team player and you're in love with someone, I would rather like partner up and help that person. But I think she thought that I was just trying to like mooch.
Okay.
Because her parents divorced, and when her mom remarried, her mom experienced a situation like that where her second husband came and, took advantage of her. And then in like my head, I'm like, dude, I don't care about your money. Like clearly I have my own apartment. It's not an Airbnb. I had a nice Jeep. Like I had just bought a nice Jeep. Like I have my own stuff. I'm not here to like take anything from you. So I don't know. I just didn't agree with it all, but I just kept pushing and I kept fighting, and clearly you saw how all that turned out. So
if she didn't like my dogs, or my partner didn't like my dogs, I'm very forgiving a lot of things, but that would have been, I would have paid whatever the fine is to stop filming. Like I would have been done.
Yeah, and that's just the thing with me. Like, and that's one thing that I've just learned in general. And that's probably the biggest takeaway that I've learned from filming Love is Blind, is just like sticking to my boundaries. I put up with a lot of shit, and I let a lot slide because I'm very, forgiving and pathetic. But yeah, I mean, I should have taken that as a red flag at that time. But in my head, I'm just like, no, as my partner, like I'm gonna happy wife, happy life. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make it work. And if I have to, work even harder and go back and forth taking out my dogs, like I'll do it. But that was another thing. Like she made it such a big deal that our dogs didn't get along. But it's like she expected me to like stop what I'm doing and try to resolve that issue right then and there. Sure. So what am I supposed to do? Like go find a trainer while I'm at work, while I'm going back to take out my dogs, while I'm filming? Like I can't just fucking jump when you tell me to. Like I'm trying, but like there's only so much I can do.
Yeah. You know what? I think it also comes with age and wisdom of dating. We've all been in situations before where we let the red flags go. If you say you haven't, you are lying.
Oh yeah, that's so
true. You put up with a lot and you think it'll resolve, it'll get better. But I'm glad that it did not work out with the two of you, because that is a hard thing to overcome, especially if somebody is like, no, I just don't like your dog. I'd be like, well, then I don't like you. But anyway, moving on. Thank you for being so candid about all this, by the way. We
really for sure. Hey, I'm an open book. I'm just going to tell it to you how it is. So, good. Yeah.
All right, Jordan. Sorry, I took over a little bit.
That's okay. I was just going to let you ask your questions, whatever you need to do.
I always have so many. I just love this.
Okay, but I think we've like gone over enough of the like Love is Blind questions. You've already answered these questions. We've already talked this to death. But like, what other reality shows would you like to go on? Is there one?
Well, clearly I'm dating someone now, so I think dating shows are about a wrap for me right now. I would honestly love to do like a cooking show. I'm a big fan of Hell's Kitchen, and I love to cook. I actually cook a lot. Is another thing. I got bitched at for not cooking. Sorry, I was busy, but I actually cook a shit ton for my girlfriend now. Probably about a good 4 or 5 times a week at this point. And so yeah, I would love to do like a cooking competition. I feel like that would be fun. Some sort of challenge, so like a physical challenge kind of thing. That would be cool. Like Wipeout, that would be fun. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely.
Would you do like a challenge or Survivor, like that level of physical? That's a no.
Definitely not Survivor. The challenge, yes. Survivor, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you can physically compete, but surviving, starving on an
Yeah.
island, that kind of
Fuck
a deal.
that. I need food. Yeah.
Understandable. What if you were single? Would you do another dating show?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, bring
Good
it
to
on,
know.
baby. I'd have a
Uh-oh.
blast with it this time.
Married at first sight?
Oh no, fuck no. Maybe like a little bit more fun, something more fun. Hold off on the marriage part on reality TV for a while. In real
Fair
life,
enough.
I'm down for it. On TV, probably not.
Now, it is I won't say job, it is our hobby to watch a lot of reality TV. So you've mentioned Hell's Kitchen. Are there any other shows that you're a big fan of reality?
Oh yeah. Me and my girlfriend, I feel like we have something every night. Golden Bachelor was great to watch.
Yes.
I don't know. Gary he was disappointing there at the end, gaslighting these girls. I'm like, man, Gary, I used to think you're a great man. Now I'm kind of like, we're watching Southern Charm. That one's pretty good.
Okay.
House of Villains, which, Shake, friend of mine. Let's see. We've been watching that. Dancing with the Stars. We were watching that.
Who did you want to win? Who were you rooting
Jason
for?
Mraz.
Yes.
Jason Mraz.
Yes.
He was so good.
I
So
know.
good.
And then they make him sing too, and he doesn't win. Ugh. Yeah.
I know.
Right,
So yeah, with that, and then what else have we been watching? I want to say that's that's been our good chunk here lately. Yeah.
Okay. So
we just watched Squid Games too. Yeah.
Oh, what did you
Squid
watch
Games.
the original, like the series?
I did.
Okay. How do you think it compared? Obviously, besides the death,
Yeah, the death. I mean, honestly, the set was awesome. Like how they did everything, that was cool. I'm trying to get I did watch the original Squid Games, but it's been a while. But I would say probably like the environment they put them in. It wasn't easy. The food, it being cold, like all that stuff. So yeah, I feel like for that one, if people are complaining about Love is Blind and stuff, then definitely don't do Squid Games.
I thought you guys, because it was such a heavy promotion from like the Love is Blind team, I thought you guys were on Squid Games. Like I thought it was a lot of reality TV personalities. And then I started watching it. Like, come on, I don't know any of these people.
Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll be, I'll apply for season 2. They are casting for it. So
yeah, I saw that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I'll make a phone call to people I don't know and be like, Izzy. Okay. Now we are going to get into one of the, not that this isn't all fun, but we're going to get into one of the fun segments that we stole from Hot Ones, if you've ever seen that show. So I am going to pull up some of your Instagram posts and you tell me your reaction, what's going on here.
Okay.
Share screen. Don't care. All right, here we go. All right, so first up, we have this lovely photo of you guys from the cast with your reaction to, I believe it was Nick. It might have been Nick and Vanessa Lachey. How are they? Are they nice? Are they?
Oh yeah, they're amazing. They're so down to earth and genuine. Yeah, they're honestly they're awesome role models for sure. You can feel their love when they're present, like when you're there with them. So yeah, it's like something you kind of look up to and something you would, you hope you have someday with somebody. But they're awesome, fun, and just authentic people.
Oh, that's so good to know. They get a lot of heat. Sometimes we're the ones giving it, but it's good to know that they are genuine.
Yeah, now they are very sweet.
All right. Next, tell me if you can't see this one. This is your Chime ad.
I can't see that one.
Okay.
I can't see it either.
It made me specifically technology, man. It made me specifically choose which option I wanted to share. So let's try this again. We're just going to do this nice little split screen. All right. There we go. Now you should be able to see it. All right. So we've got this lovely chime ad. How did this come to be? And did they help
Um,
you?
I mean, so they reached out. I have an amazing manager now, and yeah, it worked out a great deal with them. I partnered with them, and it was pretty fitting. And so, yeah, I did that with them. I'm actually doing some more stuff with them next week. So it was a great way, to help build your credit and all that stuff. I actually use the cards that they have. But yeah, they reached out and I'm like, fuck yeah, why not? It's perfect. I get a kick out of it. Like it's funny. And I think it's honestly like a great collab. Like they're smart on their end.
I think it was a good one. I get this ad all the time.
Hmm.
I've seen this
Yeah.
ad so many times.
And it's crazy. Like I see Chime everywhere now. I like commercials and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool to be a part of it.
Dina, I can't hear you. I'm not showing that you're in here.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Add to stage. Oh, was that my fault?
I don't know. Can you guys
I
see
don't
me
know.
now?
I can hear you now.
All right.
Okay.
Let's
All
keep
right.
playing this fun game with technology. My mouse is like really dragging. Share screen. Yeah. All right. Let me know if you can see. Oh my God. I hate this. Can you see that one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, this is not your first encounter with some animals that don't really let you pet them or interact with them. So, does this happen to you often?
That's crazy. I was that was in Colorado. I was on a snowboarding trip and I saw it. We went out, so we had this like back patio with like a jacuzzi, and I saw it. So and it was like straggling. You could tell it was a little bit skittish. And I had a Chipotle bowl, like some leftovers on it. And so I got the chicken and I just kind of like threw a piece, and he slowly kept coming and kept coming until like I was holding it out. I didn't need it out of my hand, but I dropped it like super close to my hand, and that's where I got that footage. I think is so cute. And I loved it because I have two huskies, and I have a girl, and my girl kind of resembles a fox a little bit, and she's like small like that, and kind of like she's a little skittish sometimes. I don't know. I just love animals so much. So if I can get close to anything, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I would hug a bear. Okay. Next, hold on. Is it in here? I was looking.
Oh yeah, that's a bird.
Oh yeah, the bird. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
So just
that's
a little
awesome.
Disney princess action going on. I'm looking for, I can use that one, but let's see if I can find it. Nope. There was a picture of your ass. But I can't find that one. So
that
let's
one
go
would be
with
on my 30th birthday post, I think.
So you're obviously pretty fit. Do you have dance moves?
Oh, I do.
Can you move?
I'm Latino. I can dance anything.
All right.
Salsa,
Anything.
bachata, merengue, mambo. I love to country dance. I love country music, so I can, do a little two-step and honky tonkin. So yeah, I love to dance. I actually grew up with a lot of majority of my aunts, and they taught me how to dance since I was like a kid. So now I love to dance.
Would you ever audition for Magic Mike Live or the movie?
100%. Why not?
Yes.
I might need to hit the gym a little bit more, but yeah, I'll definitely
we've seen your other Instagram posts. I think you're okay. And then
well, I don't know. I've been getting shit because I got too skinny now, but it's just like I was trying to shred up, so that's what I did.
Yeah,
so
you're doing a terrible job, let me tell you. Okay, last, you've got drums. How musical are you? Like I've seen quite a few posts.
I played since I was 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, not to my own horn, but I'm a pretty good drummer. I played South by Southwest festival a couple years.
What?
Yeah, I was in a few bands, a few country bands. So yeah, I play.
Oh man, are you still? Do you still do South by Southwest?
No, I stopped playing probably about 2 years ago. just because, with work and doing the nightlife stuff like that, like it's exhausting.
Sure.
I'm getting there early to set up, tearing down late, getting home late.
Yeah.
And in the bands that I was in, like they would want to practice, 2, 3 nights out of the week. And I'm like, man, like I have my own social life. I have work. Like it's just getting exhausting. And then performing on the weekends, like it just became a job. So it kind of took the fun out of it. So yeah, I
Sure.
kind of just, my drum set's still in the closet, that exact one. So if anybody ever wants me, I'm here.
In
But
the closet. In
yeah,
the
so you have to,
closet.
yeah, you have to keep them. Well, they're in a case, but you have to keep them in AC because if you put them in like a garage or anything like that, and there's
Uh-huh.
heat, it'll mess up the wood.
Well,
Mhm.
I would think they would be out so you could jam out, but
Well,
that
I'm in an apartment or an Airbnb, as everyone's saying. So it would be kind of rude for me to be playing in there. So I have them stored away.
next time we have you on, we'll have to do a house tour.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Okay. Now, before we get into our Q&A from Reddit, I just wanted to ask if there's anything particular you want to promote or share that we don't know, maybe that's going on in your life.
Man, let's see. I know this coming week I'm having a viewing party with Johnny Fairplay. He's
Yes.
doing The Survivor and the House of Villains on Wednesday and Thursday at Jolie here in Houston. On Thursday, I'm actually bringing out a lot of my Love is
Love is
Blind season
Pod.
5 cast. I'll have a few of them out there hanging out with me. I'll have Chris Fox, Josh, Renee, Stephania, Taylor,
All right, we're
and a few
coming.
more.
I'm
Yeah,
booking a flight.
flying. It'll be a good time. And then Johnny Fairplay will be there, of course, and then a few other people. So it'll be a good time.
Is there anything you want to share that you don't normally get to talk about in interviews? Like, is there anything burning that you feel like you've gotten a bad reputation for, or you've seen on the internet?
Um, I don't go 50-50 with my dates. Let's see. My credit's doing great now. I'm not going to give you my score, but it's way better than what it was. Let's see. I'm trying to think. My place is not an Airbnb. It was actually my apartment. Old decor, that's for sure, but we've updated that. I actually did have ceramic plates in my cabinets. They didn't show. So everyone can fuck off with that. But thank y'all for it. It's actually been pretty funny, toying around with it. Lost and found drawer is obviously gone. But other than that, yeah, there's not really much
What
else.
what did your current girlfriend think of the lost and found drawer, or was it gone by
She
that time?
laughed. She thought it was hilarious. She's like, if that were me, I would have cracked up. Like, she's like,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty impressive, But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone handled it different. So I ended up,
Yeah.
I'm in a great position where I'm at now, in life, my
Yeah.
relationship and everything. So
Does she like the dogs?
she loves the dogs. Yeah, she
Great.
loves the dogs. She has a little doodle herself, and yeah, I mean, it's just night and day, So
And then did she see the show before?
she did. She actually watched it with me.
Oh,
We were already
okay.
yeah, we were actually dating at the time that it all came out. She's so cool. We had one of my friends. She threw me a like a wedding party. It was the last episode of where they did the wedding. My girlfriend was so cool. She dressed up as a bride. It was awesome. Yeah, I have pictures of that. I'll have to like post them. Or you'll probably see it on
Yeah.
her Instagram. But if you were to see the picture I have of her and I, we're like kissing. It looks like we just got married at a cheap wedding, like in Vegas or something.
Nice.
Because I'm in my suit and she's like in a little bridal dress with the veil on and everything. It's funny. But no, we watched it together. I wanted her to watch it with me. I knew it was hard, and for some parts, it was hard for her to see. But on other parts, I wanted her to see it. That I didn't let the show like get to my head. I didn't do it for clout,
Sure.
and I wanted her to see who I am as a person, how I love, and how I interact. So I wanted her to see those sides of me for herself, and so She watched it all. She met me right out there. I met her the minute I ran at a reunion, and I went to meet her, and we had cocktails out there in LA, and we just made a little vacation out of it, and it was great until TMZ blasted us, and so there went that. I had to stay, quarantined in the room for a while, her and I, and so, but it was still great because we went back and I went to the hotel lobby and bought like 3 bottles of wine, and the next thing you know, we're drunk in a bubble bath, eating pizza, drinking wine. So it was great.
Anything's great with 3 bottles of wine.
Oh, I mean, I agree.
And just a disclaimer for anybody who's now going to judge you for this: the show filmed long before it actually came out on air. Mm-hmm. It was like a year and a half, right?
Year and a half ago, yeah.
Yeah, everybody has moved on. It wasn't like you were dating her while you were engaged to Stacey.
Exactly.
So I know that was going to be a comment, so I just wanted to nip that in the bud before.
Yeah,
before
that's
anyone
funny
else
that people think like it's so like real time. So, but yeah.
All right, now we have our fan Q&A segment. So I'm going to let Jordan. I'm going to throw it over to you and take that one over.
Get to dig into Reddit, my favorite place.
Everyone's favorite.
All right, okay. Some of these I'm not going to ask you though.
Izzy did say it was fair game. So.
Yeah, I don't mind. Bring it on. I'm going to answer it truthfully.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just scrolling down to the very first one, I think. And this person wanted to know why you don't complete Cameo orders. I'm not sure if that means
I'm a busy person. I am on Cameo, and I actually do great. I actually did a bunch yesterday, but it's like I'm busy, like I'm doing my best to be present. Going through the airing process with my girlfriend, she had to kind of go through it with me and see how busy I was. So now that it's like all done, I'm like, all right, baby, it's your turn. I'm going to be present. I'm going to stay off my phone. I'm going to be with you. And so, yeah, it's just like, I've just been busy. I've been traveling now. I've been hanging out with her, making memories with her. And yeah, I'm just kind of staying at it for a little while. But I do answer them, and I'll sit there and I'll knock them all out at once. So I do. Go look at my reviews and everything. I do a great job. Other people, say otherwise. So.
All right. Well, maybe Pineapple Peony, Pineapple_Peony. If you want to DM us and let us know your real name, we can send it to Izzy to maybe put you at the top of the line.
I'll send you a free cameo for that.
Aww. Pineapple. Pineapple Peony. All right. Go ahead, Jordan.
I feel like we can skip this unless it's just for laughs about your hair care routine.
Oh, I shave my head every day. Like, it's so smooth. So, fellas, the best, if you're bald, one, embrace it. If you're losing your hair, save it. Honestly, it's the best thing. Like, just admit it. I know it's the biggest insecure part that we go through. I did it when I was like 23, 24. I was insecure about it. But now I just kind of embrace it. I shave my head every day. I use like this Gillette Skin Guard thing. And no, I'm not like sponsored by them or anything, but I use that one because it doesn't give razor burn on your head. So that's why I can shave my head every day. And then if you're going to shave your head for the first time, go get a tan in, because your head's going to be very white. So, but don't over tan it, because then you get a sunburn. And when your head gets sunburned, one, it hurts, and then your head starts peeling and it's like you're a snake. But
I love that you gave serious advice for like a silly question.
Honestly, I've had a lot of people ask me like in my DMs and stuff. And like, I don't, oh yeah, a lot of guys, like, it's inspiring for some dudes, it's like something like, like girls have their insecurities, guys have their insecurities too. And I think our hair is, a huge one.
Oh, sure.
So it does ruin your self-esteem a bit. And so, yeah, I figure, help my boys out.
Yeah. So. And I don't get the whole no hair, like everybody has their own preferences, but like being picky about hair. My boyfriend's bald. I've dated other bald guys. Like it's, a lot of people can rock it. And
I've noticed like a lot of girls, the younger girls are not into it yet. As they get older, they will.
Yeah,
but like in the younger 20s, like some are just like, but like older women love it. I'm like, yes, baby, come touch and kiss my head.
Ladies, you don't know what you're missing with the bald guys. You're sleeping on them.
Exactly. Slap it, kiss it, all of it.
But ask for permission first.
Oh yeah.
True. With
for the
consent.
slapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we got our next question is from Swan Administrative 56. Wants to know if you prefer blondes or brunettes. I feel like we know, but
I'm not picky. Okay,
not
that was
picky.
one thing. Johnny said that apparently once I found out she was brunette and Stacey was blonde, that's why I went with Stacey. That's fucking bullshit. I'm not. I don't have a preference. It just so happens I've ended up with blondes. So I'm not picky. So
I
yeah.
have a follow-up to that. How many questions about physical appearance did you either get or ask in the pods?
I never got anything on my physical appearance, and I never asked, not once.
Okay.
Like, I avoided those questions. Like, I wanted to do the experiment right, and that's what I
Okay.
did. So I never asked anything like that. It just so happened when I saw Stacey, she was my type. So
That's good.
hey, yeah.
They don't cast ugly people. I have to say, like size, shape, race, whatever, like everybody is very attractive.
Yeah, I don't know how the casting process goes, but I'm just lucky I was chosen. I'm
Casting
honored.
ain't blind. Casting ain't blind.
Casting ain't blind.
Okay, Jordan, back to you.
Okay. All right. I'm skipping through some of these. There's a lot of them. Okay.
There are. I think you've gotten the most so far out of like all the Q&As that we've done.
All right. Looping It asks, did he and Stacey have a conversation before the wedding that they were not going to marry, as she said they did? If they did, then why was he so upset after she said no?
So we did have a conversation. She told me 2 days before the wedding that she was gonna say no. And so the reason why I was disappointed, I don't think I had the time to process. I was blind. I was a mess. That night she told me, I was devastated. Next day, I remember I was in shock and I came home. We weren't allowed to like be with each other. She had plans, I think. I came to my apartment pool with a bottle of Tito's and a 12-pack of White Claws, and I just got obliterated with strangers and made a bunch of friends. But yeah, and then afterwards, just lost my shit again. I was just trying to distract myself. So production at the wedding, they're like, look, don't count yourself out. Keep trying, keep pushing, because couples from previous seasons were no's walking in, and once you're actually there and you walk into your suite and you see your dress or your suit or the ring, or you're walking down the aisle, everything can change. So I was still somewhat optimistic in that moment, still hopeful, and I tried to like just keep fighting. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep fighting. That's why I wrote her that note, in the suite. Like I just kept pushing. I gave it all I had, and I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was doing so much to hold back my tears through that whole time in the suite. That's why my eyes are always like red. I'm not drunk. They actually didn't even let me drink much on my wedding day till after the wedding. I was just, an emotional wreck. I'd been crying, 2 days before. And so, yeah, we did have the conversation. So afterwards, it's just like you have the interview, on how I'm feeling after being told no. And I think for me, I really just kind of like thought of everything. It's like, wow, you really put everything you had into this. And it is just like the most defeating feeling to know that your all is still not good enough for somebody. And so I was just really upset at that time, and I was hurt, I was sad, I was mad. It was like everything, so that's why I
Sure.
was like that.
Understandable. You need those drinks after that.
Oh yeah, that's when my mom comes in and I have the Casamigos bottle right next to me.
Casamigos is like the sponsor for every reality show.
Oh yeah,
ever.
seriously. Yeah, it truly is.
Okay. This next question, the username is Miss Poopy Butthole PhD. I'm gonna gloss over that.
All right.
Does he have any regrets about doing the show or anything that was filmed?
Nope, not at all. The only thing that I do regret is just the way that I talked to Johnny. So people need to get over that shit already. I already apologized to her like 3 times. So, but other than that, no, I don't regret anything. I was myself. And if I wasn't in a relationship now, I would do Love is Blind again.
All right. And then I'm just going to pick out this one last part of this question because I am curious. Stellar Echo 92 wants to know, is he still in an MLM? Were you in an MLM? Global Life Insurance?
Oh, yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not anymore. No, I did that. So my job, I was doing like telecom sales for a big corporate company, and I did that for about 8 years. And the only reason why I went to insurance, because I knew they weren't going to let me take the time off for that. And then plus I knew someone and I worked for a really good agency at the time. So I kind of wanted, to change it up. And I did it for the better work-life balance as well. So I did that for about a year, but then my old job called me back and they offered a massive salary increase. So it was kind of like hard not to go back because of the amount of money that they were offering me. So I went back and I'm doing that again. So.
All right.
And then of course now everything that's, come with Love is Blind and, things like that.
the
Partnering,
opportunities you have
Chime
there.
and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, what was the best thing about being on Love is Blind, or that came from being on Love is Blind?
The friendships that I've, made with everyone from, the pods, the opportunities that have came, meeting other Netflix universe, reality people. Yeah, I would say, all that stuff has been pretty cool. But I would say the friendships the most.
Okay. Jordan, I did promise Curious Gains 7148 we would ask their questions. Can you see that one?
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, they have a lot of questions. Do you want to ask them?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Want to do a speed round?
All right. Yeah, we'll do a speed round. Then we'll do Never Have I Ever really quick, and then we'll let you go. So you said you're up for anything. These are a little bit rough. What did he mean when he told his fiance that seeing her rail Johnny was a turn on? Does he be okay?
So with that, obviously it was worded badly. I think for me, what it was in that moment was seeing my fiance stick up for herself and like hold her ground. It was more of that came out horribly. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh God!" After what just happened. But no,
it wasn't a great look.
I think for me, it was attractive to see my girlfriend stick up for herself and like hold her shit, and that's what it was for me. Yeah.
If you thought Johnny was such a POS, why did you kiss after filming Ramped?
Look, I saw her the day after Stacy and I like called it quits, like for good after the show. And I was out. I apologized to her. Like originally that's how the conversation was about. I had no intent on that happening. And so, we're sitting there at the bar. Obviously her and I have had a couple of drinks and I'm like, okay, like could there be something here? I've been drinking. I was in a vulnerable spot. And we fucking made out. Like it happened. We made out. We stayed a couple nights. We never hooked up, but and that's all it was. And then we realized like, yeah, we're not for each other. So
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Jordan, any more that you want to ask from our kind friends at Reddit who are never mean and never inappropriate?
I don't think so. I think most of these we kind of like covered.
Yeah.
Already.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we're going to try this new segment. Now, obviously, I want to just clarify, guys, like this is coconut water. I'm not drinking wine at 9 o'clock in the morning. People have asked me that before. So we don't all have drinks. Instead of drinks, we're going to play some Never Have I Ever. Just raise your hand if you can try to. Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
So Jordan, we're going to participate too. Okay. Never have I ever ghosted someone. If you have, yeah. Jordan, you've ghosted someone?
I mean, well, you have to take into account. I've been married since I was 22.
Jordan is so innocent. I don't expect like any of these. Okay. All right. Understandable. We've all done it. Have you ever been ghosted? Yeah. Just me?
I have. Yeah, no. Actually, I have.
Wait a second.
I have. It's not a good feeling.
No, it's terrible. I was ghosted and then I walked into it was somebody's house that was having like a get together, and the person that answered the door was the guy that ghosted me.
Oh God, that's so awkward.
Yeah. Hi, Jonathan. So nice
Yeah.
to see you. Okay. Have you ever? I'm sorry, Mom. Please don't watch this part. Had a one night stand.
Oh, absolutely. Plenty of those. How do you think that Lost and Found drawer came about, baby?
Yeah. That's all one night stands. Have you ever broken up with somebody based on their hair color or hair?
Oh, never. No.
Have you ever intentionally kept something from the souvenir drawer, the Lost and Found drawer?
Nope.
Okay. Have you ever brought home decor from Hobby Lobby?
Did you put that in there?
Actually, yeah. Oh, some of the decor that you see in my apartment is from Hobby Lobby, actually.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because you know, we recognize that.
You recognize it.
Sorry about the dogs. I don't know what they're barking at.
Oh, you're good.
There doesn't need to be a reason for them. They'll just.
Hey, we love dogs around here, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever used fine china?
No, I have not. Not yet, at least. Not yet.
You're going out to register right now.
I know.
Put it on that Amazon wish list. I'm sure some fan will buy it for you.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, have you ever flown first class?
Oh, God. I have not. I have not. At least not yet. I definitely will here soon. But no, I have not flown first class.
I feel like you have to now. Like it should be a sponsorship.
Oh, trust me. We're gonna have an amazing TikTok coming for that soon. Don't worry. I'm gonna make some fucking fun with this. Don't worry.
Nice. All right. That was the last one we had. Thank you, Izzy.
Of course.
Jordan, you want to wrap up and find out all the good stuff that we can find?
Let's do it. Okay. Thank you for listening to the Love Pod. Thank you, Izzy, for coming on and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
We had a great time, and we'll give you just a second here if you want to plug your Insta, socials, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Izzy Zapata _ and on TikTok at Izzy Zapata 2.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys. Follow us too. LovePod Podcast. We love you. Leave us a review. See you next time.